One of the things we haven't talked about yet is the book of Job's focus on legal vocabulary. When everything goes wrong, Job essentially asks God for a trial. He wants to face God and to defend his innocence. Keep an eye out for words like case, plea, crimes, and offences. They're your cue that Job is arguing for a trial for his trials. They're also your cue that this Old Testament book is more relevant to your own life than you might think. We've all had times when we felt like we're on trial for something, when our suffering seems especially unjust, and we wonder why we're being singled out for prosecution. Maybe, like Job, we're also convinced of our innocence and want to defend ourselves to God, or whoever will listen. The book of Job shows us exactly which kind of defense works, and exactly which kind doesn't, when we find ourselves suffering and wishing for our day in court. During the first half of Job's story, you could say that Job tries his case in the court of human opinion. He presents his innocence to a jury of his peers, and they all convict him. From their perspective, if he's on trial, he must have done something wrong. So much for innocent until proven guilty. Now, Job maintains his innocence all along, but you'll notice that his initial approach still doesn't get him very far. He's still trying to make sense of things and to defend himself within the framework of a limited human perspective. Within that framework, Job is condemned to suffering, and so are we. But the book of Job doesn't just show how not to defend ourselves. It also shows us a defense that goes far beyond an explanation for suffering. This defense actually frees us from it. That defense begins in the court of spirit. We have to try our case beginning with what we know about God. We have to keep things in God's court, where an all-wise creator governs even the minutiae of our lives and cares for every corner of his creation. To put it another way, we have to get out of the endless worrying about and fixating on our suffering and listen to God's voice. We have to be willing to let him try our case and to show us why suffering is a misperception about him and his universe. Try it. Like Job, you'll find that the results of a trial in God's court are always restorative, healing, and profoundly good.